Hello, and welcome to the Hive Mind podcast, where the collective wisdom of the travel industry helps you match travelers with the right destinations and the right hotels. I'm your host, Whitney Schindler, founder and CEO of The Hive, a platform designed to give travel advisors organized, actionable insights they can put to work right away. Each week, I sit down for focused, real-world conversations with travel advisors, hoteliers, and supplier partners who know these places inside and out. We break down how each hotel is best suited to a specific client profile, take quick deep dives into destinations, and share pro tips to help you make the most of the Hive. And here's the best part. You don't need to take notes while you listen. Go about your day, tune in, and know that every insight from these conversations is already captured and organized inside the Hive, so it's there when you actually need it. And if you aren't on the Hive yet, you can get resources from this and other episodes when you join our newsletter at thehive.travel/podcast. Today, we have a new episode of The Essentials, a deep dive all about helping you not just understand a destination, but feel it, the energy, the vibe, and the nuance that make it unique. Trusted destination partners share key details that matter most and help paint an overall picture that will inspire you as you present the destination to clients. When you bring a destination to life with confidence and clarity, you build trust, you spark excitement, and you make it that much easier for your clients to say yes. Joining us today to talk about Bordeaux in southern France is Livy Leroy, General Manager of Essentially French. Let's dive in. Libby, hello. Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Today, we're going to dive into Bordeaux, which I'm really excited. I think that Bordeaux is only one region in France, but there's so much to kind of uncover in this area of France. So I'm really excited. Can you tell me first, before we get started on all of the nitty-gritty specifics, tell us a little bit about you and your connection to France and to Bordeaux, and what excites you most about this region?
So, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me here. Super excited to be there. So basically, I was born in the French Caribbean and I moved to Paris 14 years ago to have a master degrees and find a job. And I started my career working with luxury brands and then moved on to work for high-end DMC. And Bordeaux was actually one of the first region I visited when I entered this industry. Mainly because we had many requests coming from wine collectors, and I need to understand the region in order to sell it properly. Because as you said it's one region, but it's huge. So it was
Yes.
super important to deep dive and understand how it was working. And also to meet some wine properties, owners, to understand how we can sell it better, the type of questions that we might ask also. So yeah, I love this region.
Good. This gives me a good preview for some questions to ask you then. But let's start with the basics. In Bordeaux, if clients are coming and they definitely want to go to this region, is there specific seasonality that is important to consider, like a time that's really not great to visit? Like, is it a seasonal destination in which some wineries or hotels are completely shutting down? Are there seasons that are really awesome to visit because there are specific experiences available? Like, give me a little bit of insight in terms of, when to visit and when not to visit.
I would not say that Bordeaux is a seasonal region because basically all the hotels and some wine properties, they are also open during winter. Um, the sweet spots, I might say May through June and September through October,
Okay.
because you get ideal weather. The vineyards are
Mhm.
absolutely stunning and you're not fighting the crowds.
Mhm.
Because June
Mhm.
and July, even if those are really good months regarding the weather, you might have a lot of people, especially around Arcachon, which is along, I mean, it's the Atlantic coast and
Yes.
considered as Bordeaux seaside escape for tourists. But basically, I would say yes, May through June, September through October. And winter, by the way, it's also a great season because you will find better hotel rates, cozy wine tasting, if I can say it like this, a museum without the
Mhm.
rush, and a more intimate access to wine properties. But
Okay.
my personal season that I ever love, it's harvest season. So
Yes.
like end of August, beginning of September, because it's pure
Okay.
magic. And it's
Okay.
also the most important time of the year for winemakers because this is when the grapes are picked at just the
Yes.
right moments. So the whole region comes alive. Vineyards are busy with activity. Everything is open for it. I mean, it's just you feel Bordeaux during this season.
And are there experience like can clients be involved or have some sort of unique experience with the harvest if they are in Bordeaux at this time?
Yes, basically, it's really depend on the wine properties. You do have some wine
Hmm.
properties where it's possible for them to participate. People also need to understand that it's like physical job, and it's a
Yeah,
real that it's a
I've
real
done it
job.
before. In the south of
So
France, I worked on a vineyard and I harvested, and it is backbreaking
oh,
work. Hmm.
yes,
Yeah.
but it's also an amazing experience because you are with everyone, and it's like moment that you will never forget. You know, the
Hmm.
kind of once in a lifetime moments that we love to create, this is it. Because during the harvest season, everyone is there in the vineyards. They're doing the same job. They are sharing the same passion. So definitely clients can take part of it. Not for all the wine properties, but for some of them they can.
Right. And so I guess if clients don't necessarily want to get sweaty and have their back hurt at the end of the day, it's also just if you're not doing something specific, I'm sure that it's just a nice energy to kind of be around, to actually see people in the fields. And I don't know, are there any tours in the wine cellars where you can actively see all the grapes coming in and how they are processed? Like, can you see that part? Because usually we're doing these cellar tours and it's just like, well, this is the machine that we use,
Yes,
but like
exactly.
everything's
They're like,
turned off.
yes. Yeah, so definitely we can organize tours and it's possible to organize tours where the clients will just like ask questions and understand a little more what's happening. But we always warn the clients that it's also they're working. So like we are trying to be like in the background, just seeing people
Hmm.
working. And we need to
Hmm.
respect that this is a really important season for them. But
Yeah.
definitely this is one of the best moments to come because Bordeaux like is alive.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, for sure. It's a really unique time. And so that's, and I guess the struggle with clients is that it's always unpredictable. So it's kind
Yes.
of late August, early September is usually when it's happening.
Yes, exactly. Because it's really depend on you know with the climax and everything.
Hmm.
It's really depend on this. So it
Right.
can be end of August, beginning of September. It's also depending of the different appellation. Because
Hmm.
depending on the production areas,
Right.
it can also be before that or after that.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so that's a lot of information about the seasonality. I was just pulling up a map because you mentioned Akashon,
Yes.
and I'm going to share a map here so we can see. Is this area is outside of the city, and is it busy with locals or is it busy with tourists or like what are people doing out here? Because I've never actually been to this area. It's
So
this
basically,
little area
yes.
here.
Yeah, so basically, Arcachon, it's a really interesting place because this is where you will find all the oysters, and it's really the seaside of Bordeaux, if I can say it like
Okay.
this.
Okay.
It's also really interesting for a 1 day trip
Mm-hmm.
because you might be able to like eat really good oysters and just spend time near the beach.
Okay.
Um, so it's a good place to go. Local, they're trying to avoid July and August because this is where you have everyone there.
Okay.
You have a lot of traffic, so it's not the good moment to go. I would say that locals will go all the time, but not in August.
Right. Okay. And so are travelers staying out there? Like are there hotels out there or is it mostly like a day trip from Bordeaux?
No, honestly, you do have like really good hotels there. So
Okay.
you people can plan. Usually, when we organize this for our clients, they will plan a few nights in the city center of Bordeaux. They might want to
Mhm.
go in the vineyards, and then they might plan to have 1 or 2 nights in Arcachon. But it's
Okay.
more to have the slow life near
Sure.
Arcachon.
It's like more like a vacation. Like you're there to kind of relax and
Yes, exactly.
okay.
Yes.
Is there a certain season that's best for oysters? Like if that's specifically why you want to go there, are they better or are they more available a certain time of the year?
Honestly, I went during different time of the year and I could eat oysters all the time,
Okay.
which is a
Interesting.
good thing.
If yeah, honestly, if you're not interested in oysters and if you're not interested in relaxing, then we don't include Arcachon in your itinerary.
No,
Is
basically,
that
Arcachon is also good because you do have a lot of craftsmen there. Arcachon is also famous for a specific boats that we call pinas.
okay?
It can also be really interesting for clients who want to know more about it or just wants to like have a half day or a full day on a pinas.
Okay.
So it can be also really interesting. Definitely, it's way better when it's hot because I did it during winter and I was
Mhm.
with my blankets.
Yeah, it's
So
probably quite
it's
cold.
yes, it's not that sexy during winter,
Yeah.
but definitely, I think Arcachon is way more than oysters and the seaside of Bordeaux. It's also like a whole mood.
Okay.
The same thing when people will go to Saint-Emilion, they will have this feeling
Mhm.
in the medieval village. In Arcachon, they will have the feeling of being like near the sea, but still having the idea of Bordeaux, but being near the sea.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So, how long you kind of mentioned that some people are doing a few nights in Bordeaux city center and then a few nights out at Arcachon. Um, is that what if like what are kind of the other options to kind of consider including Bordeaux in an itinerary in terms of the number of nights? Like Bordeaux could be a part of a bigger French itinerary. And then I imagine we're probably trying to keep you there at least 4 nights minimum, just considering logistics of
Mm-hmm.
um in and out of the region. But if they're not interested in Arcachon, do you ever have them doing more of like a city center hotel and a wine focused hotel kind of into France instead of out to the coast? Like what are all the different options that we can include in terms of how long clients are staying in the Bordeaux region?
So I would say it really depends on what travelers are looking for. If we're talking, so for a first introduction to Bordeaux, 3 nights works really good because usually they will stay in Bordeaux city and will go in one nearby wine region to have one wine tasting.
Mhm.
Um, I would say 5 to 7 nights. It's where things get really interesting because that allows
Okay.
times to do Bordeaux,
Mhm.
Saint-Emilion, the Médoc, or even a day trip to Arcachon, or even a day
Mhm.
trip to Cognac, which is also a good
Oh,
option.
okay. Okay, I'm gonna
Um,
open up the map again so I can visualize where all of these places are. Wait a second. Don't say
and
anything else more
yeah,
important.
okay.
Okay, so we have first we have Saint-Emilion, which is to the east of Bordeaux.
Yes,
Okay. And then you what else did you mention? Arcachon's over
Cognac,
here.
Cognac.
Cognac, yes. Okay, this is to the north. Oh, I don't think I realized that was so close.
Yes.
Okay. And then did you mention one more spot or was it those three?
No, I mentioned Médoc, but Médoc is an appellation, so
It's
it's
here. This kind of,
yes,
I
exactly.
always notice it here. Okay, so walk me through these like three regions. So Saint-Emilion, Médoc, and Cognac. Like, are these day trips from Bordeaux? Do people go to these like what types of experiences are possible? Like, tell me more about these places.
So basically, let's start. So when we have 5 to 7 nights, it's usually when you have clients who wants to do like for wine collectors. This is
Mm-hmm.
mainly the request that we have for wine collectors because they want to have the time to be in the city center. Then they want to go in the vineyard. So they want to have
Mm-hmm.
day to Saint-Emilion to discover
Okay.
the village or to have some wine tasting around. They want to
Okay.
go to Le Médoc to have some wine tastings. They want to go to Sauternes. Um, they want to be able to have day trips to the different sub-region of Bordeaux.
Right. Yeah, because there's a lot of subregions, right?
Yes, exactly. And my advice is really to do day trips because in Bordeaux you have a lot of traffic, meaning that you can spend between 30 minutes to 1 hour and a half in the car to go from one place to another. That's the reason why we always advise to have day trips when clients will be able to do one wine property in Saint-Emilion, maybe having lunch in this wine property, and during the afternoon do a guided tour of Saint-Emilion. But they will stay in the same sub-region, if I can speak like this.
Okay, I found
Um,
a wine map of
yes,
Bordeaux.
perfect. So basically, for if I will try to explain it to you as easy as possible. So
Right,
in
I'm an
Bordeaux,
amateur. Like, just keep it basic.
okay,
We don't have to
uh,
get super into this.
super into this. So
Yeah.
basically, in Bordeaux, you have different appellations, so which are officially
Hmm.
recognized production areas with real strict rules. And I would say there are three main types of wine you should know. So you have the
Okay.
left bank, what I'm calling Medoc, Pauillac, and
Okay.
Margaux. So mostly reds. And think about Chateau Margaux or Chateau Mouton Rothschild.
Hmm. Hmm.
You also have the right bank, Saint-Emilion and Pomerol,
Okay.
with
This part
Chateau
in yellow.
Petrus or Cheval Blanc.
Hmm.
And finally, people used to talk about Sauternes. You have the sweet wines, and you
Okay.
have Chateau Yquem or Chateau Smith Lafitte.
Okay.
Really quick. So those appellations are the most required by clients that we have, and that's the reason why I'm talking about day trip because from
Yeah.
Bordeaux to those regions, you can
Hmm.
spend 1 hour in the car to
Right.
go
Each
and to go
way.
back.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if you pick
So
one hotel in one of these regions, then you're almost too far from the other region. Like the city of Bordeaux is really central.
yes, exactly. That's also the
Okay.
reason why when we're planning a trip, we will always ask where the client wants to go. Because if we plan a hotel in Bordeaux for the whole itinerary, the clients will have to do
Lots of back and
three
forth.
hours in the car
Yeah.
during the day, at least.
Hmm. Hmm. Which is a
I
lot.
also mentioned Cognac. Cognac is an
Hmm.
interesting place because basically you do have really interesting cognac houses such as Hennessy or Maison Martel or Rémy Martin,
Hmm.
where clients can not only discover cognac and have cognac tastings, but they can also discover all the know-how that you have in this region and all the know-how that you have around the cognac itself.
Okay.
And basically, it's 1 hour and a half from Bordeaux.
Okay.
So that's the reason why, again, day trip.
Yeah. Okay. As travel professionals, our expertise is everything. But let's be honest, too often it lives in scattered notes, in our heads, or gets lost after a site inspection or a client call. That's why I created The Hive. It's your expertise vault, a living library where hotel details, destination insights, and advisor takeaways are instantly accessible. And the best part about these conversations on the podcast? You don't need to take notes. Every insight you hear on the Hive Mind podcast is captured and organized inside The Hive. So whether you're just starting out, scaling your business, or leading a team, The Hive makes sure the knowledge you need is right there when you need it. Feel more confident, work more efficiently, and deliver a client experience that truly stands out. Learn more at thehive.travel. For those of us who are not sommeliers, and we have a client who says, I want to go to Bordeaux and really do like an immersive kind of wine experience, what
Mhm.
questions can we ask the clients to then be helpful and supportive to then come to you and say they want to go to Bordeaux? Like what details or knowledge or preferences, like what questions can we ask so that we can customize and personalize their experience in Bordeaux as much as possible and not just offer kind of, the what everybody does in Bordeaux?
Okay. So I think the first question is what is your relationship with wine? Are you just curious, enthusiast, like you want to discover different wine properties, or are you a wine collector? And when we are talking about wine collectors, we need to know what they have in their cellars because basically they don't need to know who you are and the amount of money that you have on your bank account. They need to know what you have in your cellars to understand why you're coming and what can you bring to them and what they can bring to you.
Okay.
They also need to know, how do you buy your wine?
Mm-hmm.
Do you just go to the shop near your home, or are you buying your wine through the wine properties directly? Or do you have any wine merchants that you work with to buy your wine?
Right.
I would say, are you more interested in labels or authenticity? So we will
Okay.
know if you organize like encounter with owners with small wine properties, or are we
Mm-hmm.
talking about big wine properties?
Yeah, big labels that you've heard of.
Exactly. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Okay.
And regarding the accommodation, we also need to know if clients want to stay in the city center and are
Mm-hmm.
okay with having 1 hour and 1 hour and a half by car,
Mm-hmm.
or if they want to have, I would say, the best of both worlds. So be at like 20, 30 minutes from the city center, but also in the
Mm-hmm.
vineyards.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they are okay to be in Saint-Emilion or in Margot or in Sauternes.
So back to the question about how they purchase their wine. Um, this is some like I'm a total amateur. I am not like I'm a wine enthusiast. Let's put myself in that category. I like to buy wine when I'm traveling to bring it home because that's far more interesting than going to the supermarket. But whenever I'm traveling, whether I can purchase it and ship it home is always a different answer, depending on what country I'm in, where which winery I'm at, whether there's an exporter. There's all these like little factors that always kind of change the answer in terms of whether I can purchase wine or not. So for someone who is a wine collector, is their expectation generally that they're going to a specific place, they're looking for a specific bottle or label, they're purchasing it and shipping it home? Or are they there just to do tastings and to meet the owners and see what they like, and then they go home and purchase through their wine person? Like what is the general process for purchasing wine in Bordeaux?
So basically, it's really depend on the wine properties. If
Right.
we're talking about like the big wine properties and what we call les premiers grands crus, in those wine properties, you cannot buy the wine there. It's not possible
Right.
to buy the wine directly there. So it means that you will need to go through what I'm calling a wine merchant
Mm-hmm.
that will sell you those bottle of wines. Um,
And are the wine merchants generally in the US?
no, basically, no. They are. I mean, it's way better to go through a wine merchant located in Bordeaux that will
Okay.
send the bottles to your home rather than to have someone in the US, because it's going to be more expensive. So what's happening when we have clients who wants to buy some specific bottles, we organize a meeting with someone, and they will decide together what they want to buy, how many bottles, where we need to send them, and how they will ship them, and etc.
So this
So
is something that you need to know in advance. It feels like this is also a question of like, are you in Bordeaux to have the winery experience, to taste new wines and to just enjoy while you're here? Or are you here with the intention of making a pretty sizable purchase and shipping home wine? Because if that's what you want, like we need to actually set you up with a wine merchant and with an appointment to make that happen.
So basically, so yes, for if they want to like buy bottles of like really impressive wine, if I can say it like this,
Hmm. Okay.
you can also buy some bottle of wines in some wine properties.
Okay.
But as I was saying, for the Premier Grand Cru, it's not possible. So
Hmm.
um, you will find a lot of wine merchant in Bordeaux, meaning
Okay.
that um, even if we have any clients who want to buy any bottle of wine when they are in Bordeaux and they're like, finally, I want to go back home with like 20 bottles for any
Hmm.
reason. It's
Hmm.
always possible for us to find like a time slot where they will be able to have this meeting. It's
Okay.
not like for some bottles they will be able to go back home with those bottles when they will be there because they might
Mhm.
have it in the shop for any reason. But we're mainly talking about bottles that we will send to their home.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can't really take that much in your suitcase. I think
No,
it's
I
only
think
a
you do
couple
have some
bottles that you can
exactly.
put, yeah, in
Yes.
your suitcase. So, I mean, most any purchase of more than just one or two bottles is going to be shipped to your home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Um okay, this is fascinating. I feel like sometimes clients come and they know exactly what they want. I mean, those are kind of the collectors, but the majority of clients that I've talked to, they know they like wine, they know they want to go. Maybe they know the types of wines that they prefer, but then they're kind of looking to us for a little bit of guidance generally.
Yes. So I would say for those clients, the what is really interesting in Bordeaux and fascinating, it's how many wine properties now offer experiences that go far beyond tastings. So
Okay,
of
tell me
course,
more.
tastings are still essential, especially for wine lovers. But today you will also find architecture focused visits, family friendly experiences, la- educational tours about the winemaking process,
Mhm.
or even visits centered on history, archives, and family stories of the wine properties.
Interesting. That's nice.
What makes Bordeaux really interesting for people that are not coming for wine anymore?
Right.
So, meaning that you can come, for example, with your family.
Mhm.
Maybe a part of the family will go and have wine tastings,
Mhm.
but the other part of the family can also enjoy another part of the wine properties, which
Mhm.
make it more accessible for
Right.
clients.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of my next question is uh, I I don't know, would you come to Bordeaux if you weren't interested in wine? Like, would you just tell someone like, I don't know that there's anything for you here? Or is it's more for clients who like, yes, I'm interested in wine and I want to do some wine tasting. And also I want to do some other things. Um, there must be some variety available if clients kind of come in, let's say for a 3 or 4 night stay, and they do their 1 or 2 days of wine tasting, and then they want to mix in a little bit of variety. Like, let's chat a little bit about the other things that we can offer them that aren't related to wine,
So, that are related or are not related?
that are
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 not.
not related to
Okay.
wine.
So, basically, Bordeaux is well known for the architecture. You do have the Bassin de Lumière, which is the digital art center.
Hmm.
We can also have like beautiful art historian that can do amazing art tours. You can have the same way we have the river cruise on the Seine River in Paris. You also can have
Hmm.
the river cruise on the Garonne River in Bordeaux.
Amazing. Hmm.
You also have really good chefs in Bordeaux, so you can have like cooking classes to learn how to do some specialties from Bordeaux. You can also have, I was saying that now the wine properties are proposing other experiences. You can also have
Hmm.
architecture visits of the
Hmm.
wine properties because some of the wine properties, they are amazing inside of them. And we do have clients coming from far just to discover the architecture of some wine properties.
Okay.
So basically, you do have some experiences that are really classic, but done in a very elevated way. So
Hmm.
that if you're not coming only for wine, you can also enjoy yourself.
So you've mentioned wine properties a lot. When you say wine property, do you mean that it is set on a vineyard and their primary business is winemaking and they also happen to have rooms?
So
Is
depends. Depends.
okay.
So when I'm saying wine property, I'm really saying properties that produce wine
Hmm.
without any accommodation. But really interesting that you're talking about it because the new trends in Bordeaux, I would say maybe it started 4 or 5 years ago. Yes, I would say that. Now, some wine properties, they do have accommodations.
So you don't mean hotels when you say wine properties. You
No,
mean vineyards, their winemaking facilities, and we're just visiting them in the day. Okay, got it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So you can have like real wine properties where when I'm talking about wine properties, I'm really talking about a place where they produce wine without no
Okay.
accommodation and no.
Okay. And you're saying that a lot of these wine properties are starting to offer other experiences. So you could theoretically be at one wine property for the full day, doing a
Yes.
tasting, doing an architecture tour, and just having, I guess they must serve food at some point too.
Yes,
Could
of
you
course.
enjoy a
Yeah.
meal? Yeah. Okay. So it could
Exactly.
be a full day experience just to go to one specific spot. Or I'm sure that there are some options where you're kind of hopping around different vineyards and doing different tastings.
Exactly. And you can even decide to sleep in a wine property now.
Now, some of them have
Yes.
rooms.
Exactly.
So when I look at accommodations in Bordeaux as a broader region, um, I'm always battling myself, but also kind of having this conversation with clients, trying to decide, do you want to stay city center or do you want to stay out in the countryside? Because some of these properties out in the countryside, they're not necessarily on a vineyard, they're just out in the countryside, are really stunning and really
Yes.
beautiful and offer beautiful restaurants. Some offer really incredible spa experiences. And so I'm kind of talking to clients about, yes, we can be in Bordeaux and do some wine tasting and do all these activities, but some of these properties are the experience as well. And so you just
Mm-hmm.
want a day or two with no plans. And the plan is to be at the hotel and to really enjoy the property. So are you generally recommending that this is kind of a split stay, or what is the conversation or the questions that you're asking clients to try to understand and decide, is this a city center client or is this a countryside client, or like how do we navigate um how impactful the accommodation selection is?
I think again, it's also a question about why they're coming. If you have a client for a family, for example, I will. My advice would be to have maybe 2 nights in the city center and then to enjoy that kind of property, because you will have more space for the kids, for example, because you will be like outside of Bordeaux, so you will have more space, and also it's also a way to enjoy the facilities and the spa, for example, of the hotel. So I think it's a
Right.
right balance between uh, this kind of stay. For a client who is looking for this feeling of being in the city, or they want to walk by themselves, they want to have walkable places, city center is the best option. Because basically, when you will be outside of the city, you will need a car to do everything.
This is kind of the point that has gotten complicated for me in the past when clients are out in the countryside, is like when it comes time for dinner, that it's like you're far. I mean, sometimes you're 30 minutes from the city.
Yes.
And so it's like, do you really want to drive 30 minutes just for dinner? Like, probably not if you've been, out and about doing things all day. So that has kind of been the question that comes up, that if you are going to stay out in the countryside, that you're probably just going to be there for a few nights and
Yes,
have dinner
exactly.
there on property.
Yes, so that's the reason why for those clients we are usually propose 1 or 2 days outside of the city center.
Okay.
So they just have 1 night or when where they can have dinner at the hotel, and another
Hmm.
night where they will have, yes, to take the car and to go outside. But we're just taking about 2 nights.
Yeah. Um, there's wine all over France. And there's collectible wine all over France, right? Like if you're really a collector, there's a lot of interesting regions that you can explore. What would How would you guide clients like high level if they're just like, we want to go to France and we want to drink wine? Would you immediately send them to Bordeaux first, or like how would you decide, Bordeaux, Provence, Lyon, Champagne, like there's all these different areas that you can have these wine experiences. Um, High level, how would you talk about the different options?
So if we're talking about clients who wants to, so basically Provence, it's mainly rosé.
Mm-hmm.
So it cuts a little the thing because you might have clients who want to have only rosé, so they will go to Provence. Um, Definitely, you do have some places that are not better, but people will travel more there to have like white wine, for example.
Sure.
Um, I would say that if you do have a wine lover, Châteauneuf-du-Pape can also be
Yeah.
a good option because
This is what I've
Châteauneuf-du-Pape,
had.
yeah,
Yeah, I've had a lot of clients really, really enjoy Chateauneuf-du-Pape.
because you also have this feeling of being like in a small regions where you have really good wines. So
Mm-hmm.
it can also be an option for clients. Also Burgundy, because in Burgundy
Mm-hmm.
you have really high-end wine properties. So it can also be an option. I think what I like with Bordeaux is you have, if you are the first step of like a wine lover, you can go to Bordeaux because you will find some properties that can welcome you. If you are an enthusiast, you will find wine properties. And if you are a wine collectors and you're looking for the best of the best, you will also find it. So I would say that Bordeaux it's really good because you have the possibility of having access to different wine properties depending on the level that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Where in some regions it might be accessible only for people that really know wine. Definitely, you might have some wine properties accessible for people like just want to discover.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that, in my opinion, Bordeaux, we do have more wine collectors that want to go there or
Okay.
Châteauneuf-du-Pape.
Yeah. Yeah. And Chateauneuf-du-Pape, for anyone who doesn't know, is, I mean, I usually have clients staying in Avignon and then
Yes.
kind of going up
Yeah,
to Chateauneuf-du-Pape.
exactly.
As your business grows, you need more than just your own notes and research. You need access to the wisdom of the industry. That's what the Hive provides. It's our collective memory and expertise vault filled with hotel details, destination insights, and advisor takeaways. You benefit from what others have shared, and your own contributions make the resource even stronger. The Hive helps you scale with confidence, knowing you're not building in isolation. Want to see how it works? Head to thehive.travel. Let's talk about logistics because this is a perfect segue
Yes.
because trains in France all lead to Paris. And the Bordeaux and Avignon connection is not super awesome. But it's what a lot of clients actually want. They want to do like the south of France. And so I don't know why I don't know if it's just me or if you have this a lot as well, that clients are like, we want to fly into Paris, we want to go down to Bordeaux and then just bop over to,
Yes,
Provence. And I'm
exactly.
like, cool. So you're going to spend a lot of time in the car. Like, is that
Yes.
okay? Because it's the only way.
Yes, that's true. I mean, unfortunately, we do have a lot of clients that will spend time in the car or they will use the train, but you do have some connections to do depending on where you want to go. Now, the
Yeah.
best way to come in Bordeaux, it's from the US to arrive in Paris and then to take the train to come in Bordeaux.
Yeah.
This is the best
Because
way.
it's a high speed train. Is it like two and a half
Yes,
hours?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
honestly, to be in the train, it's not that bad because you can see the landscapes, you can take your time, it's slow and you can breathe. Why when you have the car, it's super long, so it's not a good idea to go in the car.
No, I
Um,
think the train Paris to Bordeaux is perfect. It's more the
yes.
logistics when they then want to do like Bordeaux to Provence.
Yes,
Um, that's well, it's possible, of course, but it's just there's not a direct train. It's not a high speed train like it is from
exactly.
Paris. So it's like, are you making train connections or are you driving a long distance?
Exactly.
And it's just I I really wish there was a better way to connect those two provinces because I feel like that's the most common request I receive.
Hmm. Yes,
People just
that's
want like
true.
those two south of France regions.
Yes, they want to continue. Yes, and
Hmm.
that's true. It's not easy all the time, but we're trying to make some stop when clients want to go by car. We're trying to make some stop on the way or
Hmm.
to make it like more convenient for the clients.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you approach that? Like what is stops on the way? Like if we were going from, I don't know, is it Bordeaux to Avignon or to Aix-en-Provence? Like what do you see as the most common kind of
So
route that people want to
so
take?
basically, it's really depend. So I would say that some clients they will just want to stop to have like a good restaurant. So if
Yeah,
for any
like just a
reason they
nice
want to stop,
lunch. Hmm.
yes, just a nice lunch. Or some clients
Hmm.
will just want to stop to take some pictures.
Hmm.
I would say that maybe Carcassonne, it's a good stop
Hmm.
in the middle
Hmm.
of it because in Carcassonne you might be able to have beautiful landscapes, so it can be a good option.
Is
Um,
there, I mean, I know Carcassonne for the sites. Is there a good spot for lunch there too? So does it kind of make like a
yes, yes,
well-rounded
definitely. You
stop?
have good restaurants. You
Hmm.
have good
I
restaurants
mean, I
there.
know there's good food everywhere in France, but
Yes.
there's always somewhere I'm sure that you can find
Yes.
great food.
Yes, exactly. But also Toulouse. You do have like big cities like
Hmm.
Toulouse,
Hmm.
which is really good for stop. Because
Yeah, I
Toulouse,
think.
it's right in the middle between
Hmm.
Bordeaux and then to go to Avignon, for example.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I think that that's what I've had clients do is stopping in Toulouse for lunch. It's a cute city. Like it's not anywhere
Yeah,
that you need to be for multiple days, but just for a lunch
exactly.
stop, it's cute.
It's cute. And basically, I mean, you know, it's from Bordeaux to Avignon, it's about 6 hours, and it can be
Hmm.
like 6 hours, 7 hours. So
Yeah.
they need to stop. It's really long. It's a long drive.
I have been to all of these places because I lived in Montpellier for a little bit, but I was on trains, so I've never driven. I was doing random trains. I was never visiting all these places all at the same time, so I've never actually done this drive that clients are doing. Is it scenic? Is it at least like a beautiful drive, or is it pretty much like you're on a highway for 6 hours?
It really depends because you do have like autoroute.
Hmm. Yeah,
So in some places it's
you're
going
on
to
a
be
high.
beautiful.
You're on a
In
highway.
other places, you're on a
Yeah.
highway. Yes.
Yeah, no, okay. I mean, but it's helpful to really help clients understand like yes, we can absolutely combine Bordeaux and Avignon. You're going to be on a highway for 6 hours. We will stop for lunch.
Yes. Yes.
The alternative is to take a train, and can you do it with just one change or does it require two
I
to
think you
get
can do
like
it
from
with
Bordeaux to
I think
Avignon?
you can do it with one change, but sometimes it depends on when you're leaving.
Yeah.
Because depending on the at what time you're leaving, sometimes it's
Hmm.
just one or two.
Yeah.
And honestly, we advise clients just to have one change. Two, it's a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah,
because
yeah, of course, of
if for
course.
any
Yeah.
reason one train is late,
Hmm.
you're going
Yeah.
to miss the other
You're
one.
going to miss it. Do you ever try to talk clients out of this, or do you just manage expectations about like this one day is going to kind of be not awesome?
Um, when we create an itinerary, we will always be really transparent with the client, saying that this is what
Hmm.
you will see, this
Hmm.
is where you can stop. If you really want to do it, we'll make it fun, but we give the clients all the information to have the possibility to choose if they want to do it or not. Because,
Yeah.
as I was saying, sometimes to spend that amount of time in a car, it's really long. If you're in
And it's
family,
expensive.
it's
Like it's
expensive.
really expensive. It's like suddenly you have like a $3,000 day that was not really that great.
Exactly.
So it's like this part of the trip that I'm always just like, oh, do we have to?
Yes, exactly. And we did have some clients who were doing a road trip.
Hmm.
And this is different because when clients they are driving by themselves, they can stop whenever they want to, no rush.
Yeah.
They can even decide to have one night in Toulouse and then the
Hmm.
other day go in Avignon. So it's really
And you could
different.
avoid, I'm sure that you could take the scenic route if you're doing it that way and kind of avoid the big highways and just like take your time to drive across the
Yes,
south of France.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. So I
Maybe
would say it's a
that's,
totally different thing for people that
yeah.
are driving by themselves. But definitely when they have a driver, um, they can stop one or two times, but the idea
Yeah.
is to arrive to Avignon. So
The idea, the goal is to arrive. Yeah.
yes,
So no, I kind of like that idea. I mean, not all clients like to drive, but it does offer like a slightly more enjoyable experience. Um, I try to get people to follow the train lines. So like either do Paris, Lyon, Avignon, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Burgundy, like do that kind of line on the train because it's all connected, or do Paris and Bordeaux. Sometimes I can convince them to do that. Sometimes I can't, but at least we can be honest about the logistics.
Yes, that's true.
Until there is at some point, who do we have to petition to get a high-speed train from Bordeaux to, I don't know,
from
directly
Bordeaux
to Avignon? It's probably not going to be good. It's going to be to Marseille, right?
Yes, I think so. It's going to be to Marseille.
Yeah.
Yes. Or maybe Aix-en-Provence, because it's also, people ask to go there. But
yeah. Yeah. What have we not talked about yet, Livy, in regards to Bordeaux?
Shopping.
Tell me about shopping.
So I would say that you have 3 main places where it's really good to do shopping. So you have the Gold Triangle, where you will find all the luxury brands. But my favorite one is what we call Chartron, where you will find antiques, design things. You also have a lot of art galleries, so it's really nice, cool. And you also have a lot of vintages pieces. So
this is all in the city center of Bordeaux?
Yes, exactly. So the city centers, some of them, they are like, I would say 10 to 15 minutes, but all in the city centers of Bordeaux. Yes.
Is this something that requires a guided experience in any way, or like appointments or shopping like that? Or it's more of just allowing a free afternoon and giving clients some guidance on where to go?
For me, Bordeaux, it's also a city that you can experience by yourself. Because you can just walk in the street, even the food tour. Definitely you can have a guide for the food tour, but you can also just go by yourself in some places and ask and buy some stuff just to try. Because it's a walkable city. You do have, people are more than welcome to help you and to give you some tips. You can do a lot of things by yourself, especially when you are in the city center.
Are there specific food items that travelers should be sure to try in Bordeaux that might be a little bit different from other regions?
I would say...
Or is it just enjoying the French food that we know and love? The pastries, the cheese, the bread. Yeah.
Everything you can enjoy it. No, I would say...
The oysters are a little bit unique, right?
Yes, oysters and also cannelé. The cannelé. Because the cannelé is a small pastry. So it's a small pastry that is crispy on the outside and soft inside.
Okay.
And they are flavored with vanilla and rum.
Okay.
So delicious. People need to try it. Yes.
Is this something that like all bakeries would have, or you kind of have to go to a special place to find it?
No, honestly, you can find cannelé everywhere. Because this is like the thing of Bordeaux.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Super cool. Livy, thank you so much for taking the time to kind of dive into all things Bordeaux for us. It is, it's a big region. There is a lot that is possible, and it can be overwhelming if we have sometimes clients, well, not sometimes, usually clients know more about wine than we do, unless we are an undercover sommelier. So I at least feel like I know enough to be dangerous now to pull out, information from the client enough to really kind of personalize their experience in this region. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure, Whitney.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the Hive Mind podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a new episode. And if you know a friend or colleague who would enjoy this, please share it with them. If you would like insights from this episode landing in your inbox each week, join our newsletter at thehive.travel/podcast. And remember, if you'd like to contribute to a future episode, whether it's sharing your destination expertise or your experience touring hotels, just head to thehive.travel/podcast to learn more and express your interest. We'd love to have you join the conversation. Until next time.